And joining us is an education management and policy expert, Dr. Wambeye Marakia. Welcome to the show, Daktari.
Thank you very much.
So, Daktari, we were discussing the CBC system, and I just want you to tell us what is different in CBC that is not found that was not found in the 844 system.
Yeah, thank you very much, Moleen. Today, viewers, we are meeting again, trying to dissect matters education, and as you've asked, what is new in competence-based curriculum, which was not found in the 844 system. There are several differences, or there are several new things that are coming in with the new system, competency-based curriculum. And the first one that comes in my mind is in 84 system, we were giving a lot of content. And in CPC, we are giving competencies. In that, in 844 system, and also the system that was there before 844, people were being given a lot of content. You go to class, it's knowledge, and you might not be able to tell you where you're going to apply this knowledge.
So this is the 7423 system?
Yeah, the 743 system, yeah. And then 844 system. A lot of knowledge, content, and we will measure your worthiness by how much knowledge you have. Not how much you can apply of this knowledge, but how much knowledge you have.
So it was more of theory.
Theory in 844 system and the other system. But in this system that is coming, it's competence. Competences, which competences you have, in that you have knowledge, yes, but on top of knowledge, what attitudes do you have, and what values do you have, and which skills do you have? This is what we are calling competences. You must have knowledge, you must have skills, you must have attitudes, you must have values.
So that means in 844, you are just dealing with one part of... Or
one part, we are giving a lot of knowledge. A lot of knowledge.
Which is theory.
Well, which is theory in nature, and in most cases, most of the students who come from this system, they was given so much knowledge. In class, you sit down from morning to evening, we are giving you this knowledge, and from Form 1 to Form 4, you are giving this knowledge, from Standard 1 to Standard, we're giving this knowledge, but sometimes students do ask, where am I going to use this knowledge? Because application of this knowledge is not. But now in CBC, competencies are very important. These competencies, the skill that you are going to apply in your life is very important. Also, the values. You know, these values in our schools had gone really very low. There were no values. Like the competence-based curriculum emphasizes that we must be able to give, apart from the competences students acquire, a student also is supposed to acquire values. And there are about 9 values. We are not going to talk about those values right now. There are about 9 values which the competence-based curriculum needs the student to acquire.
So this knowledge that you are getting, the 844 system, could it be applied? It was the part of the students to read and to go and do it practically without the teacher showing them.
I have not said that we are doing away with knowledge. I'm saying that on top of knowledge, the students are supposed to have values. On top of knowledge, the students will have skills. On top of knowledge, the students will have what? Attitudes.
So they have just added other things. It's just an improvement.
The student, you know, when you change the attitude of somebody, the attitude actually matters a lot. When you have a student coming out with the values, you know, we are living in a society where we don't have values. If somebody thinks that, let me just go to school, I'm going to school to get this knowledge. I'm just going to school so that I can be able to acquire this knowledge, book knowledge. But this person does not have any value, has not acquired any value. And that's why you see values like respect, values like love, integrity, until we have a whole commission to deal with integrity. Because these people have not acquired such a value like integrity. So we form a commission, and even we put it in our constitution that we are going to have this constitution so that it will be the prefect of these values. And these values are supposed to be acquired. Where are they supposed to be acquired? During the schooling period. So in order for us to come out clean, so that we can have integrity, so that we don't have somebody policing us on integrity, we have a value like integrity being acquired by the students, so that when they grow, they know I have integrity, and I have acquired integrity, and they perform or they do things with integrity. They will do things with respect. They do things with love. They are responsible. The value of responsibility. Students are responsible. People are responsible. So that when you see something like, I've seen this thing sometimes among Kenyans, they think that another person will come to do that thing they are doing. They are not responsible at all. They want somebody to be responsible, and they don't know that they are supposed. The responsibility begins with me. So those are the values the student is going to acquire.
So it's like a wholesome. They want like when someone leaves school.
Yes,
they should
have acquired these values.
Okay.
They should have acquired these values, and that's what comes in now in the competence-based curriculum. Also, we have another thing that is new. The 844 system emphasizes schooling, but competence-based curriculum emphasizes education. Schooling. Okay, I'll go through the system. I'll go from standard 1 to standard 8. Then from standard 1, it doesn't matter what I'm having. Then I know there is form 4. There is form 1 to form 4. Then there's university or middle level colleges. Then this person wants to just go through the system, and many people out there, you just say, bora nimalize shule.
Is this why we see some parents saying now when someone finishes form 4, they're like, now where should I take this kid?
Yes.
I'm supposed to take him to the university. Is that the schooling?
They are emphasizing schooling. Huyu aanze darasa la kwanza, darasa la pili mpaka la 8. Ukimaliza hapo sasa na narudi kukaa na mzazi.
Ni kama unaenda tu kwa unapita unatakana tu
upite unatik. Mimi nilifika darasa la 8. Mimi nikafika kidato cha 4. Hivyo tu. Lakini ni nini umepata hapo vile umekuwa ukipita? Umepata nini?
So hiyo ni kwa 844 system.
Hiyo ni kwa 844, lakini hapa kwa competence based curriculum CBC ni nini umepata? Ni nini umepata? Na unatumiaje kile ambacho umepata? Unakitumiaje? Kitakusaidia namna gani? La tatu, unajua kuna mambo mengi sana uliniuliza nini ligeni kwa huu mfumo mpya ambao tuko nao wa CBC. La tatu, mitihani. 844 emphasized examination, and for that matter, summative examination. And this summative examination, we give an exam at the end.
So hiyo ni mtoto
anasoma kuanzia darasa la kwanza, la pili, la tatu, la 4, la 5 mpaka kufika darasa la 8 ndio tumpa mtihani.
Hiyo ni summative.
A summative exam.
And it was in the 844 system.
844 system.
Okay.
Alafu baadaye hapa hivi ukifika form 1 nakupa knowledge, form 2 knowledge, form 3 knowledge, form 4 nakupatia mtihani mwingine. Na ni summative exam. Lakini kwa CBC kuna kitu kinaitwa assessments. Students are given assessment. And I know you must be aware that that exam they are doing, the CAPSE exam that they are doing, this exam at standard grade 6 is called CAPSE. Yeah. This exam they are doing at that level, it is not carrying 100%. Assessments in schools, what the students doing with the teachers is carrying what is carrying some marks.
So it's like you should have like a portfolio of what you've done.
Yes,
before.
you are doing something. You are being given assessment, so that when you are given that exam, the exit exam at that level, it's not carrying 100%, so that you have something. And I like the system, the assessment, because in 844 we were using only one tool in doing assessment. When I talk of a tool, you know, there are several tools of doing assessment. In 844, we are using on tests. I will go, I prepare a test, and I come tell students, tomorrow you are having a test. Read for this test. And it's like students are frightened because they are going to have a test.
Yeah.
So when I arrive with my card, it's me only who has that card. And I want students to recite, to remember what they have learned. Now, and I want the students also to compete amongst themselves. I say, you are number one, you are number... The students are competing among themselves in 844. But in competence first, a student compete against outcomes.
By outcomes, what do you mean? What do you mean by outcomes?
Yes, a student, I'll go, a student knows the expectation. This is what I am expected to have at this level. So those are outcomes. So, have I achieved the outcomes I'm supposed to?
Okay, daktari. For example, tuseme kama somo la math. Outcome inaweza kuwa kama gani?
Okay, outcome. Huyu mwanafunzi anaambiwa kwamba kufikia mwisho wa muhula huu, huyu mwanafunzi hakuwe anaweza kufanya multiplication.
Oh, okay.
Multiplication ya one digit. Tuseme 2 times 2 equals to 4. 3 times 3 equals to 9. Hivyo.
For a certain level.
For that level. Outcomes are for that given level.
Oh, okay. Sawa.
Sasa, huyu mwanafunzi anajua kwamba kufikia mwisho wa muhula huu, haya ndio ninatakana niwe nimepata. These are my outcomes. Sasa, kufikia mwisho wa muhula huo, huyo mwanafunzi sasa is assessed against the outcome.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now I understand.
You are assessed against the outcome. And this is called assessment as learning.
Assessment as what?
As learning.
Okay.
You are assessed against the outcomes. Now we have also assessment for learning. Assessment for learning. This is a periodic assessment as the learning goes on to know whether the student is getting what is being taught. That's assessment for learning. And assessment as learning is you are assessed against given outcomes to see whether you have gotten the outcomes. Now, the assessment that was happening in 844 is called assessment of learning. You are just given a summative exam assessment at the end of the period.
But then, tulikuwa tunafanya kitu inaitwa continuous assessment test when you were in the 844 system. So, kwa sababu haikuwa na uzito, kwa sababu haikuwa inaenda kwa...
Have you ever seen in your research group? That cut you
Okay, so it was just a useless thing.
No, it was not useless. It was supposed to make you remember what you are learning, but it was not having any meaning.
Oh, okay.
To me, it was not having any meaning. Because I can give you a cut and you score 90 in that cut. Now, and I give you the final exam and you score 20. Have I taken care of 90?
No.
You have not taken care of that 90. But in this, if I give you an assessment as learning goes on, and that assessment becomes part of what I'm doing, your assessment, and is entered in your record of work, maybe you one day you are given this exam and you are in your spirit and you feel good and you perform very well in this exam. So it's entered in under your portfolio or under your name, and then it's good for you. When you are doing your final exam, when you are doing your final exam, exiting exam, now they put all these things together. Now that exam now becomes meaningful to you.
Oh, okay.
The one you did at school when you are not having, sometimes when you are doing this exam, there are so many things that happens. A student has never seen a gun, has never seen a policeman with a gun in a school, and now that policeman comes with a gun. They are escorting the exam, and when the student sees the police person, they become frightened.
True.
And now we affect them doing that exam. But now there is an exam with the student was just doing with the teacher. The teacher tells the student, now today I'm going to give you an assessment, and please, because the teacher is there and these students are used to their teacher, you see, they will work out well. They are not frightened in any way.
Yeah.
So there is a variation of the condition that are around that exam. So in competence-based curriculum assessment, as opposed to these summative exams.
Okay.
Yes. I think also another thing worth mentioning in this system is in 844 system, the system who is giving knowledge, the teacher. The teacher is the supreme here, is the one who is the prefect of knowledge. Whatever he says, whatever he stands in front of the class and says, that is it. But though in 844 system, the system is teacher centered. In 844 system, in his competence-based curriculum, it is learner-centered. A teacher only becomes a guider. A teacher becomes an enabler of learning.
So it's like they give the students an assignment and then they're supposed to go and research? And then
Yes, the student. Yes, you are given work. So the teacher only guides the student through so that the learning can take place.
And he observes the process?
He observes the process, what is taking place, to guide the student. When they go wrong, tell them, yeah, we have gone wrong. This is what is supposed to. So here, the students are taking charge of their learning.
Oh, compared to 844 where the teacher is standing?
The teacher stands in front of the class to give everything.
Okay, Dr. Wambeye, we have to go for a break. I'm being told by our producer that you're supposed to go for a break. But, dear viewer, you can join the conversation by SMSing us on 0718 442 and 578. Thank you.
good family is a family that has mastered the art of expressing the kingdom.
The word of God is the compass.
Every time we get into worship, we are getting boldly to the throne.
Lord is calling us to a place where we are going to prepare a place for him. The presence of God is when we carry God himself. Has died to to save everyone. In this season, the Lord wants to dwell in our
competence-based curriculum is based on. The first principle on which this CBC is based on is the principle of opportunities. In that, this curriculum, when the student goes through, is supposed to give her or him opportunities, diverse opportunities. For example, at senior school, a student is given several pathways. Not like in 844, where you have only, you are told, it is mathematics, sciences, humanities, and all that. You have to do them. In CBC, you have the opportunity to choose the pathway you want. And the pathway you are comfortable with is not the pathway you think, no, the pathway you are comfortable with. There are about 4 pathways. We have STEM. STEM means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Those people who are best in those, they can choose that pathway. There is a pathway for humanities, social sciences, that is. Those who are good in social sciences, they can go that way. There is also another pathway for sports. Those people who are good in sports, they can follow that pathway. So that we have a student going to a pathway, has an opportunity to follow a pathway that is comfortable with.
So does the grade determine if you're going to
No, not a grade. You see, you are comfortable. I'm comfortable in sciences. I'm comfortable in mathematics. So if I'm coming in mathematics, let me take the pathway, the STEM pathway.
You know, but you can be comfortable, but your grades are not good. So
how can you be comfortable when your grade is bad?
You know, some people. Okay. Okay.
Because I know a student who scores an E is not comfortable with mathematics. In fact, they want to throw that mathematics at the earliest opportunity. So that one, I think, gives the student a pathway. It's another thing. The principle of CBC. CBC emphasizes excellence. That whatever the student does it excellently, and whatever the teacher teaches in an excellent way. So we at the end of the day, we have excellency in whatever you're doing. So that when I'm doing something as a student, I'm excellent in whatever I'm doing. I'm not going to have a second chance of doing it. Let me do it. Let me perfect it. Let me do it excellently. And when I'm teaching, let me teach excellently. When I'm guiding the student, let me guide them excellently. Also, another principle that is coming in is community service learning, CSL. This is a new area which has not been there in our former systems. Community service learning, you've seen students on the streets trying to wamechifunga magunia.
Wanafagia wengine. Yeah, I've seen something like that.
Now, these students have identified a problem in the community, and they're able to go to the community to solve that problem. Now, community service learning is not so much pronounced in lower primary. It's not so much pronounced in upper primary or in junior secondary. It's going to be a standalone subject in senior secondary, and this is going to be a very important component for those people who are going to join universities and tertiary colleges.
So
by the way, you might not graduate if you have not completed your work in community.
So it's like a call.
It's going to be a course. It's going to be a serious thing. This one is a thing that is going to engage citizens with their own community. You know, we have so much done schooling and divorce schooling with what is going on in the community. So that when I'm in school, hii ambayo ingine inatendeka kule nje hainihusu. Lakini now we are going to have that component coming in, that you don't finish your senior school and you are failed your community service. It's a very important component because it makes people to be responsible. It makes people to know where we are moving to, where we are going to as a country. Yeah. Also, another thing is parental engagement and empowerment and engagement. Parental empowerment and engagement. This is where the parents are complaining. You are giving us a lot of work. You are giving us a lot of work. I am giving a lot of work.
Expensive.
You are giving us. No. You see, a parent is supposed to know that is the first teacher. Mtoto maneno ya kwanza ambayo wanazungumza na kwanga mambo gani? Mtoto neno la kwanza kuzungumza baba, mama.
Yeah.
Those are the first words.
Yes.
And who teaches this child to speak those words?
The mom.
The mom.
Yeah.
So the mom is the first teacher of a child. And we should not now relegate this responsibility to the teachers when we take the children to school. The parents are supposed to support actively what is going on in school. And when you talk about supporting actively what is going on in school, like there are children in the 844 system, you tell them, prepare for me a cup of tea. They're willing to prepare that cup of tea for you because they don't know. Because at home, they have a maid. When they come from school, they reach home. Their work is to put away the books, sit, and start becoming the master of the remote. They watch every program on TV. The food will come, it will be served to them without even them lifting a hand anywhere. But now when we talk about parental engagement and empowerment, children come from school and they have been given homework. You are going to make your bed.
That's an assignment.
That's an assignment. And make sure that when you make your bed, take a photo, come with it at school.
So the parents are supposed to help.
The parents are supposed to support the child, make the bed. And when the child now making the bed, it becomes routine. Because there are children who just wake up and they go away like birds from a nest. So it becomes, we are involving this child right away from home. And the parent supports this child right away from home.
So it's like it's bringing out independence.
Independence is there in children, but also they are supposed to know that this schooling is not only, education is not only learned at school. It's also supposed to be learned at home. There are things like cooking. A child makes a cup of tea with the supervision of the parent, because if you left at this child who is in lower primary to make that cup of tea, this child might burn herself or himself. So the parent supervises. And when it comes from school, you know, it has some seriousness.
Yeah.
Eh? And we take it with a lot of seriousness. So this principle of parental parent empowerment and engagement is very important.
Okay. And does that, like the way that you've given, the example that you've given of spreading a bed and then you take a picture, will that go to the assessments?
Yes.
Area, or
you know, also we have a tool, a tool in the schools called portfolio. Every work the child does, the teacher is supposed to open a portfolio for this child. So that when the child does this work very well, like a child is drawing, a child is doing what, everything that the child does is filed in the portfolio.
So mzazi nitakana chukulia hii kitu yenye mtoto anamwambia seriously kwa sababu inasaidia kwa grade.
It's part of assessment.
Oh.
Yes.
And it will be.
It is going in the portfolio of a child. Every child has to have a portfolio in the school, so that whatever the child is doing is filed to show that this child has acquired this competence. Has acquired some values, by the way. Some values you just stand and you look at some of the values being acquired by students. The value of respect. When I was going to school during my days, whenever we will see a teacher arriving to school, most of our teachers used to have bicycles. We will run to take the bicycle from the teacher and go and put it where it's supposed to be put.
Like you meet the teacher?
Yes, you meet the teacher and take the bicycle. And when the teacher now, when the teacher is, you are in your break, and the teacher is passing around, and you are seated, you all stand to show respect to the teacher. Nowadays, you don't see such in school because the values have gone down. The values have gone down. They are not there. So, we need to bring these things back.
Okay.
So I've given you how many principles? I've given you the one of opportunity, excellence, community, and there are so many others which I have not mentioned.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Dr. Wambeye, what theories of learning is this CBC pegged on? The theories.
There are so many theories, and when you talk about theories, we talk about theories of learning and assessment. There are so many. And for those people who have gone to school, the teachers particularly, they learn so many theories in school. But there are cognitive development theories. We have social constructivism theories. And we have behavioral theories. And on the, I'll just mention one theory, which is very important, the theory of cognitive development by Howard Gardner, multiple intelligence theory. Howard Gardner, multiple intelligence theory. This theory states that there are so many intelligences. A person does not possess only one intelligence. There is intelligence quotient. The one we have been measuring in school by giving tests.
So that's intelligence.
That is intelligence, quotient, IQ. We have been measuring. But apart from that, in order for you to play football, there is some intelligence you need to put in. So that's another form of intelligence. There is also emotional intelligence. So there is not only IQ, the one we know. So we have been testing, we have been measuring IQ among the people. But we have forgotten that there are so many other intelligence. There are people who have very low IQ. But when you give them football, they can do things with the football.
So that means they're not performing well in maybe classwork.
Their classwork, they are not doing very well. But when you give them the football, they can do marvelous. They
So,
can.
Is that
that is an intelligence.
Emotional intelligence?
No, not emotional. Not emotional.
That's not emotional.
That's not emotional. That's another form of intelligence. If you read about Howard Gardner multiple intelligence, you'll get he has given so many intelligences. He has given so many intelligences there. So when you know that there are so many intelligences, I can have a low IQ, but I'm able to do another thing because my intelligence leads me there. Then you know that we are not supposed only to rely on IQ. We are supposed also to know that a person has these other intelligences. And we also have a way of exposing people to their areas so that we can have. Of course, we have Pickett cognitive development theory. We have Bruner's cognitive development theory. Those are cognitive theories. And also we have viscosity, socialism theory, also sociocultural theory, and many others. This CBC is based on such theories. That we are not going for only, like Howard Gardner multiple intelligence theory, we are not going for only one intelligence. We are going for several intelligence in a person that makes that person.
Unajua tumekuwa tukiongelea mambo ya CBC lakini sijui kama kuna watu nyako able differently, like pia wanafuatilia mambo ya CBC ama
wale we call them special children.
Yes, special children. Yeah.
They go through what we call the normal child go through what we call age based. A special child go through what we call stage based. Stage based. They have the stages. You know, them they don't because they are special.
No, just when it comes to intelligence, okay, based kwa mambo na special. Pia bado unaangalia mambo za hizo IQ.
Yes, you look for those things, and these people they are able to do some things properly. They never thought of. They are able to do things properly, and because they are going through stage based, they are not going through age based. You know, the normal children in CPC, we have now the path. Those children who are normal, they will go through age based. There, when you are 6 years, when you are 7, like that. It's called age based. But now, stage based, these are special children. Okay. They go through several stages, and these processes are able to merge somewhere. So the special children have been taken to special schools, and they are also given what is they are supposed to be given according to their level, according to their stage.
Okay. Do you have anything to add?
On theories, I've told you that I've only given you an example of one theory, Howard Gardner, multiple intelligence theory. Okay. That one is so much tells us, but there are so many other assessment theories and learning theories that this CBC is based on.
Now, Daktari, where are we in terms of teacher preparedness?
I know this. I know this one now. It's the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And in most cases, sometimes many people make so many conclusions about the preparedness of a teacher in handling the situation, in handling things the way they are. But I will say that any teacher, any trained teacher, anywhere can be able to handle any curriculum given to him. Any trained teacher. So when it comes to preparedness, there are several teachers, there are several factors that can hinder the implementation of the curriculum. And when you talk about preparedness, then you are supposed to look at these factors. The first factor is teacher understanding of the curriculum structure. Are the teacher understanding the structure of the curriculum that is being given to them? Because every curriculum comes with a structure. Are the teacher able to interpret that structure? Another thing, are teachers able to use the new curriculum materials? You know, every curriculum comes with the materials. Are teachers able to use the new curricular materials? And many teachers I know, they are able to use the new curricular materials. And also another thing you have to ask yourself, do teachers believe in the reform that is given to them? That's another thing. Do they believe in the reform that is being given to them? If they believe in the reform, then they are able to implement that curriculum. Then we have, what is the extent of the support given to the teachers?
So what kind of support?
What kind of support is given to these teachers? If a teacher is given support, is able to implement.
In your opinion, what kind of support do teachers need at the moment?
Support in terms of training the new curriculum.
Like retrain? Are they going to be retrained?
No, we don't say retraining. We call it retooling. Because you have already been trained. You only be retooled. So that you can be able now to see the new things. Because you only need to identify the new things that are coming in the curriculum. And tell the teacher, these are the new things that are coming in the curriculum, and these are that supposed to be implemented.
Oh, okay.
Because this person has been trained for 4 years to be a teacher.
Yeah.
Others have been trained for 3 years to be teachers. So you only need to retool them. So support is very important. Now, after you have given them enough support, like the teachers, at this level, they are being given support by the curriculum support officers. Employed by the TSE.
So there are people who are called curriculum
support. There are people called curriculum support officers.
Who are supposed to help
who are supporting the teachers in the implementation of the new curriculum. Also, the ministry officials, also KICD goes around to see whether people are getting what is being implemented. No KICD, Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. They develop the curriculum. They develop the curriculum designs. Then they are able to put it down to the teachers.
We have to go for a short commercial break, but we'll be back with more. You can communicate with us on on the Smartboard, and you can remember you can communicate with us through 0718 442 578. Now, Dr. Wambeye, you were speaking about teacher preparedness. Can you?
Thank you. So I was talking about teachers' understanding of the curriculum structure, and very important is a teacher being able to interpret the curriculum through the curriculum design that are given. Now, formerly, in 844 system, we used to call them syllabuses. We are no longer calling them syllabuses in CBC. We are calling them curriculum designs.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Is a teacher able to interpret the curriculum designs? Now, a curriculum design is a plan given to the teacher by a curriculum developer on how this curriculum is supposed to be implemented. For example, topics in this curriculum are no longer being called topics. They are called strands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there are so many things changing. They are called strands. So is a teacher able to see a topic, like you are given this topic, which you are calling strand. You are given, like in mathematics, teachers teaching quadratic equations. You are told that quadratic equations is supposed to be taught in how many lessons? It's written there in the designs. And which activities are you supposed to do when you are implementing this curriculum design?
Oh, okay.
It's a plan. So they tell you this strand, which they are called the strand, which was used to be called a topic in the former curriculum. Now it's being called a strand. How many lessons do you use? And what are the learning and teaching materials do you need? Now they have introduced a new thing. They're called lesson reflection and all that in this thing. So how well is a teacher versed with what is being given in the curriculum design?
So by lesson reflection, is it from the side of the teacher or from the side of the student?
The side of the teacher.
From the side of the teacher.
When you teach a lesson, you're supposed to reflect.
And you write something.
Yeah, you write something. This lesson, when I was teaching this lesson, this is what I went through. This is how the learners perceived it. And I think learners didn't get this concept well. Then I think when I'm introducing this next time, I will be able to do 1, 2, 3. You have reflected on the lesson.
And then this information that you have written, will it be taken to the curriculum developers?
It will not be taken to the curriculum developer. It remains with you, the curriculum implementer, because these are your action plans.
Now,
these are your action plans. By the way, the teachers do a lot of work. They don't usually just come to class to teach. Teachers, they don't just come to class and sit there to teach. They do a lot of work. Some of the things they do is they are prepared on how they are coming in that class through a lesson plan.
Okay.
And in the lesson plan, they have written several things there. And in that lesson plan, they have objectives, what they are coming to achieve in that class. So the teacher sees, have I achieved what I went in this class to achieve or not?
Now, how are they monitoring and evaluating this if they're not getting information from the teacher? I'm just...
They're evaluating because sometimes when they do assessments, these assessments, it can tell whether you are achieving, whether you're achieving or not achieving. When you are assessing the curriculum through these national assessment they are doing, it tells a lot that I'm achieving what I wanted or I'm not achieving what I wanted. I'm achieving the objective of the curriculum or not. So I'm saying the teacher preparedness depends on so many things. And some of the things I've talked about. And if the teacher gets the support, he'll be prepared. If the teacher understands the curriculum, the curriculum structure that is being implemented, is well to go. Because these are trained persons, these are trained professionals. By the way, these are professionals. A professional in the area. When they get a good policy in place to support them, then they are able to move in that direction. So there are several things. We cannot just say they are prepared or they are not prepared.
Yeah.
There are factors that we look at, and these factors actually determine this preparedness.
Okay. Now, Dr. Mbe, how many learning areas are there in CBC?
Now, when you're talking about learning areas, you are supposed to talk about the levels, because there are different levels. The other day I was talking about the pre-primary. But let me talk about the pre-primary, because the learning areas in pre-primary are a few. In junior secondary, they used to be 11. Yes. In junior secondary, they used to be, I think, 11, and so many other electives. But when the Presidential Working Party went around, it collected, and we found that they found that these subjects were so many. So they reduced them to 9 in the junior secondary.
Okay.
They reduced them to 9, and in upper primary, they reduced them to 8.
So if you compare CBC and 844, are the learning areas few in CBC?
Actually,
or?
what determines learning areas is what knowledge do you want to give to the learners? And this knowledge is going to be very important. Like in upper primary, we have English, mathematics, Kiswahili, religious education. Agriculture was matched with home science. Now it's called agriculture and nutrition. It's matched with home science. Creative arts. We used to have creative arts, music, and all that. But now it was merged. Now it's just called creative arts.
Okay.
And we have science and technology in upper primary. But now when it comes to junior secondary, there are 9 learning areas. We have English. A student will either go for Kiswahili or Kenyan Sign Language.
Wait. You said a student now chooses where she or he wants to
They are offering Kiswahili and Kenyan Sign Language. You know, there are those who are.
Oh, okay.
Those who use sign language.
Yeah.
Also, we have mathematics. We have religious education. We have social studies. We have integrated science. Now, integrated science at junior secondary, we will ask, what is integrated science? They are taking physics, chemistry, and biology. They are put them together.
Oh, so that's one subject.
One subject at the junior secondary.
Oh, okay.
We don't have physics there. We don't have chemistry there. We have only one learning area called integrated science. Then we have a new area called pre-technical studies. Never used to be there, but it's a very important area. You know, this one is an area, this one is a level where students are supposed to know, where am I best?
Oh, okay.
So that they can be able to move to their respective pathways. So that's why they are given this broad curriculum.
At junior level?
At junior level. At either upper primary and the junior level. They are given a broader curriculum so they can be able to choose. So we have agriculture and nutrition. We used to have home science, but now home science has been merged together with agriculture. It's called agriculture and nutrition.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have the last one is creative arts and sports. Creative arts and sports, we have so many things there. So these 9 learning areas, a student has all of them. And also another important thing you're supposed to know, one lesson is supposed to be set aside for pastoral instruction.
Really?
Yes.
Pastoral meaning, what do you mean by pastoral instruction?
One lesson is supposed to be set aside for these children, if they are in a school which is sponsored by Catholic, they call a priest 1 hour to come and give them pastoral. Also,
that's in the curriculum.
Yes, you're supposed to set aside one lesson one lesson for pastoral. You know, you're talking about value-based education.
Okay.
So when you're talking about value-based education, this is what now is supposed to be.
So what if there's some students who are
They are
Muslims?
okay. Those are the nitty-gritty. When you are in a Muslim in a Catholic-sponsored school, you just follow what you are given there.
Okay. Okay, Dr. I've just noticed that there are some learning areas that have been retained. We have like Swahili and...
very important. Those are languages. But you know, in lower primary, there is what we call indigenous language. So learners at the lower level are supposed to be exposed to the indigenous language. But when you come to these upper levels, like in the secondary, it's when you are having Kiswahili and English. Very important.
By indigenous, you mean the local language?
Yes. I loved it. Because it exposed me. I can talk my mother tongue or my father tongue fluently.
But then important. Kujua where you're coming from and you know your language. Someone comes from somewhere. Okay. We are supposed to go for a short commercial break. For we are rolling. We are rolling. I'm being told by my producer we're supposed to end the show, and I don't know if you have any closing remarks.
Okay, I will tell my listeners and my viewers that CBC is the best thing we have had in this country. Let us embrace it and see what it will give us to our generation and the generation to come.
Okay. Okay, thank you for joining us, and join us next time, same place, same time, on the Smartboard. My name is Moleen Maraka, and I've been with Dr. Wambeye Marakia, an education management and policy expert. Thank you.